episode 76 of the Luke and Lewis Show. Welcome, everyone. Luke's wearing sunglasses, not because he's cool, because he's currently disabled at the moment.
Well,
his
no.
camera angle might be out of focus. There's no way for him to tell.
No. Okay, I'm wearing sunglasses for two reasons. One, yes, my pupils are heavily dilated at the moment. Had some eye drops this morning.
That's a lie. He's been doing
medical eye
acid for
drops.
3 weeks.
Huh?
He's been doing acid for 3 weeks.
Oh, fucking hang on. My computer wasn't turned up. Guys, I said I was ready. I wasn't ready. Now talk?
Yeah, I'm talking.
Oh, that's too loud. Fuck.
Jesus Christ. Are we leaving this in? I think we're leaving this in.
Yeah, absolutely. I want people
So-
to know. I want
Okay,
people
so-
to watch our struggle. This is what we go through. Now
Every
my mic's
single day.
fucked. I can't
Man.
see. Well, the problem is I can't see. So
No,
yeah,
I don't think that's your only problem, Luke.
yeah, but it's so hard to think when you can't see. It completely fucks with your other senses when you lose one. Actually, it should heighten your other senses.
Yeah, I think it definitely it literally heightens all other senses. Maybe sight was the only sense that Luke had.
The problem is I'm trying to turn you up, but I can't see my keyboard right now because it's really blurry, so I keep muting you.
Well, do you want me to yell for the hour?
Well, we pretty much do that anyway, most of the shows. I'll listen to one back and we're just like, hey, mate. It's like I'm
Yeah.
actually trying to yell at you from Diamond Creek to Frankston.
It is a weird thing. I also have noticed that we've been talking a lot louder. We need to tone it down a little bit, but it is strange because my laptop's far away, so I think you're far away. So I'm like, "Hey, mate, how you going?
Yeah, and I'm pretty good. Actually can't see shit.
Hey, Ruben, do you still live with your mum?"
Yep, still living with my mum.
Man, you know what? I let that slide for one episode. And
Yeah.
man, if you want to be 26 and throwing that out when you... Okay, so you... Okay.
I've been out for 1 week.
You live by yourself. Now, if you want to leave that
Yeah.
house, are you going to get your girlfriend to drive you or are you going to catch the bus? Which
I will
one are you
get an
going to do?
Uber.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
a fucking peasant.
Cool. Well, you can get sick from that driver. Because, in the Uber, you can't practice social distancing unless you go in a boot or you order an Uber XL and you sit right in the back. But in a bus...
You know what? I was thinking that when I moved out and because of quarantine, I was like, oh, this is like the perfect opportunity to go for driving lessons. I'm not doing stand-up. I've got heaps of extra time. Then I read a news article. Some 17-year-old girl just got fined $1,600 or something for doing a driver's lesson with
They
her
overturned
mum.
it. They overturned it a few days later because of the media pressure, I believe.
Oh, good. Because
Yeah.
they were
Is
going,
that correct,
that's
Keelan?
not an essential
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah.
How funny is it that it was from Hampton to Frankston? So it's like it's my normal drive.
You just
Oh,
completely
Keelan's just
revealed
doxed
where you
himself.
Yeah.
Look out.
Now the last person left is Ruben, and who knows where Ruben lives? People have to work
I
it
know,
out.
with his mum.
Or if anyone wants to find out where Ruben's mum lives, maybe contact Ruben's dad. I don't know. So, Lewis.
Yep.
So no, with that driving instructor thing. So what happened was she was with her mum and then she got fined. But the stupid part, there was this weird loophole where driving instructors are apparently still allowed to be working. So if she was with a driving instructor, it would have been
Oh,
fine.
no shit.
So I think there was this rule that just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And but also she lives with her mum. So this is what's confusing me. I think this is what is confusing a lot of people is everyone's going, oh, the rules aren't confusing. I think it is a bit confusing because they've said public gatherings of 2 are fine, right?
Yes.
But then also don't leave your house for any circumstance.
Well, unless
So what's the rule?
Unless it's for like
Yeah, I get that. I get
Morrison
the-
said. No, the other confusing thing is I think it's very confusing because Scott Morrison, the Prime Minister, is like, oh, you should only be going to essential jobs. And then one reporter goes, what is an essential job? And he literally says word for word, an essential job is a job that you have. So, like, that
So
just
why-
means go
so-
to work.
So
He
we
said
could
any
be
job
doing
in this
the...
economy is an essential job, which is funny. Sorry, I
Right.
just reiterated what you
So,
said, but yeah.
Yeah,
Would
we
we-
all could be doing work, yeah.
So what? Yeah, is this an essential job then?
Is this a job that you have, Luke?
Yes.
Well, then, yeah. This
Well,
is
that's
essential,
fucking
apparently.
stupid, 'cause I don't
so I
think
don't know what
this
we're doing
is-
on Zoom.
Yeah, essential to anything. I can't even hear you guys. We could be in the same room. But, well, it's just, the one thing that confuses me is like, in what terms did they fine her on? Like, she wasn't with over more than 2 people. She was with her mum, who she lives with.
It was because she wasn't doing an essential activity. But I would argue
So you
that
aren't allowed to
learning
go outside.
drive.
That's educational.
I would argue that learning to drive is essential.
Non-essential
although
travel.
No, but it
That's
is
true.
education,
Non-essential
and that's still
travel.
allowed.
So she wasn't going anywhere important. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, but it's driving education.
yeah,
I think that's how she
very
got off.
stupid.
But
Yeah, it
anyway,
doesn't
the
make
whole
sense.
thing is just confusing because it's like you're apparently allowed to go out with 2 people, but then if you do, you get fined.
Yeah, it's
I think
strange.
the federal laws are different to the Victorian laws at the moment because Daniel Andrews keeps bringing in new laws. New South Wales, like, they're still going to the fucking beach. There were still people at Manly Beach last week or this week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
nuts. New South
stupid.
Wales is fucked. I think they have the most cases in the country.
Yes,
but it's also
I
probably
wonder
because they
why.
have a lot of internationals.
But then Perth is a lot different in rules as well. Like here, you can get fined for going up the street to get a kebab. Over there, the Premier was laughing at that, and he was saying that it doesn't matter if you're getting a kebab as long as you don't hang around the kebab shop afterwards.
That's right. Kebabs are an essential activity in Perth.
I
Have
agree.
you seen
And
that
if
clip of him laughing?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's very good. Anyway.
By the way, if you must get a kebab, it's also essential to use the work card. You wouldn't want to be paying that as a personal
No,
expense.
I don't. Definitely, no. Considering that we've lost our main sponsor, kebabs are definitely off the menu.
All right. Well, I'll try and ease up on that. I'll lower my kebab.
You have
usage.
to. Not. You can have as many kebabs as you want, but you can't use the joint card, Luke.
All right. We'll put this we'll put this conversation on hold for now, and we'll continue it off air.
Well, no,
I'm happy to meet you there.
No, I think that we can talk about this now, Luke. I think that we should all put it out on the table where if you have a kebab with the work card, I just want you to know that you are quite literally taking food out of Ruben and Keelan's mouth and stuffing it into your own gob.
And the listeners. If people
Yes.
want a kebab, I can order Uber Eats to your house.
No, we're not doing that. Okay, the only way that you can get a kebab. Okay, how about this? I'll accept one kebab delivery to someone who supports us on Patreon this month for more than the cost of a kebab. We'll deliver one kebab to you on Uber Eats.
Yep, cool. And
that's
also,
it.
I don't know why you have such a problem with Keelan and Ruben not eating. They both live with their bloody parents, mate. Who cares?
That's true. Losers. Who would live with their parents? Not
Yeah.
me. Until I was 26.
Dude, my eye thing is getting bad. So what happened is I went to the, people may, you cast your minds back, I had eye surgery back on the modern digital days 2 years ago now. Oh, sorry, Lewis is just casting his
Just
mind back.
casting my mind back. Yep.
You might remember there was an episode where Radio Mike and Lewis called me and I was in my bed and I couldn't leave my bedroom for 48 hours. Now, since then, I go for like kind of yearly checkups every 6 months or so, just depending on what it is, to get my eyes tested. And I got these eye droplets put in, and usually it makes my eyes a little blurry for like the next 4 hours. And I think she like completely double dosed me because it really stung when she put it in. And then I was like, oh, am I right to drive? And she's like, yeah, you should be fine. Dude, on the way home, I couldn't even see fucking traffic lights. I should have
That's
pulled
not
over.
good.
I was like, I didn't know
Yeah.
how fast to go. I was like concentrating so much. And then I stopped by the supermarket on the way home to get some stuff. And holy shit, I was looking at the dips. I was trying to find French onion dip for about 6 minutes. And I asked someone, I was like, hey man, which is the dip aisle? He's like, you're standing in it. And I was like, I can't fucking tell, to be honest.
So you would have been in the supermarket with huge pupils going, bro, where's all the food? And the guy's
Yeah, dude,
like,
people
right
thought
there,
I was
man.
tripping balls. And like the lady checked my temperature like when I came out of the doctor's because she checked it on the way in. And then I was just like, oh, like she looked at my eyes and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I didn't know at this time that my eyes were completely dilated.
Yeah.
There was no white left. Like it was all just pupil.
Oh,
it
so
was
you look like a
fucked.
cat.
Yeah, I think it's gone down a bit now. Do it to the camera. My eyes are fucked. I look
Oh,
like a
I can
demon.
tell. I
Yeah.
can tell on the Zoom camera. That's
It's
not
really
good.
bad. I can't see anything. So
I
I'm
mean,
kind
in
of just working
everyone
on
at the
feel.
supermarket's defense, you were double dropping earlier.
Well, that's true. I left out that part of the story.
It was double eye drops.
But I've never done drugs or anything, and I don't know if this is what it's like, but I feel like this is the closest I've ever felt, like, at least vision-wise. I can't see
Yeah.
anything. I've never been this drunk where I literally can't see.
Oh, you're drunk as well.
No, no, that's unfair. You know what was really shitty? I woke up to someone, I was checking the notifications on my page and it's like, oh, 3 new mentions and a few people had shared a video. Then one of them was like, Triple J just did this post saying like, are you drinking every day in isolation? Here's how we can help. And then like 6 people had tagged my page below this fucking article. I was like, oh my God.
I mean, you did go for a big stockpile earlier in the week.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I bring it on myself. And what I was bringing that up for, which, thank you. Well, that's what I meant. Really appreciate that. So Louis C.K. Released a new special this week.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about this. We said last episode that we would all watch it and then talk about it. So if you guys have seen it, we're going to talk about it. We're not going to do any spoilers. We'll probably talk about some of the subjects of the jokes, but we won't spoil it for you. We'll just have a little bit of a broad discussion about it. I think it's very, very interesting. Firstly, I thought it was fucking great. I thought it was better than the last few he's done. I thought it was really, really good mainly, I think, because of what we were saying beforehand, was that he has something to prove now. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely my favorite special he's done. Although I'm not like the biggest Louis C.K. fan. Like, I think he's obviously amazing, and he's not in my top 3 when I think he's in a lot of other people's top 3. But me
neither, to be honest. I think he's top 5 for me, but not like I think there's people that I prefer a lot better, but I understand that he's definitely one of the masters.
Yeah, he's amazing. And what I thought, like the last few specials, you're right, I didn't think they were that good. I don't think I even got through the last one. I think I stopped watching, but it just wasn't for me. But a lot of people still really liked it. But this one I saw, so when he first came back to comedy after what happened, the scandal, and him being a pervert. After that all happened, I saw him within about 3 weeks of him returning to comedy clubs in New York.
So cool.
When I was there. So it was like end of 2018, December 2018. I saw him 5 nights in a row do 40 minutes. And some of that material was in the special. And it was really interesting to see how that material had evolved in the last year and a half since I saw it. Because he was literally reading off notes. When I saw it, it was like, oh, you know that thermometer? I'm not going to give it away, but the bits I saw was the closing bit he had really early about switching bodies with your mum. Oh, yeah. The thermometer bit about his French girlfriend and how French people use thermometers. He had that. And there was another bit. There was only 3 bits I recognized, but he had another 30 minutes that I saw that he didn't use in the special.
Because I think before this special, like 50 minutes of his set was recorded secretly and was leaked online. And that went crazy viral. So he probably would have thrown a lot of that out. That's what I would have done.
So he ditched a bunch of shit.
I think so. I would say that a lot of the stuff you saw was probably thrown out because it got leaked.
Okay, right. Yeah, well, that makes sense. The shit that I saw was fucking good. Like, there was a reason why we kept going back every night to watch him. You know what shocked me, which was like, this was still pretty soon after it all went down.
Well, Luke, you weren't really a fan of Louis until all of the Me Too stuff. Then you were seeing him every night.
I'm not much of a comedy fan, but I'm a fan of his wanking. No, that's the thing. I was really conflicted watching him because we're from like a very conservative part of the world in Melbourne, and our comedy scene a little bit different to other people's. Now, I was with our mate Joseph Green at the time, and we knew he was going to come on. We got word from a few people like he's going to be here. We're like, all right, we'll go. And this was like the midnight show. We were like watching him at 1 a.m. every night perform for 40 minutes, and I was like, oh, I wonder what the reception's going to be like when he walks on stage. You know, it might make some people uneasy. He's a bit controversial, you know. And even a lot of women in the room, I was like, how are they going to react? Dude, he got a standing ovation when he came on every night in a tiny little room, the Comedy Cellar, with 100 people, women on their feet, just like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, he most well just like, it was like they were, a few people, it was like the energy was like, get it out and show us how it's done, you know? It was just like people were big fans of his work.
It's what he's been waiting for.
It was crazy.
It was an interesting special. I felt for the first 20 minutes, I watched it with Jazz, she mentioned this too, I thought that he was a little bit nervous the first 20, which you would be. Because if you were recording your first special after all this stuff, you'd be like, fuck, this has to go well.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I mean, I got the vibe that he didn't shoot it twice.
I don't think he did.
I got the vibe that he
Yeah.
shot it once because he had stains all over his t-shirt.
He was
Did you
real
notice
sweaty.
that?
He was really sweaty.
No,
It was
like on
probably-
his stomach. I know he had pit stains, but he had like he looked
It
like
was
a bit of-
sweat. It was sweat because
Was
it was
it?
under his tits. Yeah, it was under his tits and then above his belly button. It was probably because he's on Prozac. It's an antidepressant. He puts it in his thanks to Prozac. One of the side effects is excessive sweating. So it was probably that.
Oh fuck! I'm such an asshole. I thought he was trying to look more perverted. I was like, he's trying to just.
Well, you thought it was
steer
a
into
cum
the-
shot up his belly, like he did it in the middle of the show. He just,
No,
all right,
I just-
got to get this out of my system.
Just thought he was trying to like steer into the skid. I was like, you know what? He's hanging on to the hair. He looks. If he wasn't famous and you saw him on the street, and look, okay, I don't want to slam Louis because I think he's, you know what? Whatever. I think he's a great comedian.
I'll do it for you. He looked like shit. He looked
Yeah,
like
he did.
Obama after the presidency, and he probably because he was even more stressed during that time period.
Dude, like he looks like if you saw him on a lineup of sex offenders and you were like, oh, this guy, like which guy jacks off in front of women for fun,
Yeah.
you would be like him, 100% him.
Yeah.
And like you'd be like, yeah, that guy's got belly button sweat, of course. And that's just what
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about it during, but I think it's kind of cool the fact that he is, let's be honest, a millionaire. And
Yeah.
he just wears a plain black t-shirt every special and jeans.
Yeah.
He dresses like Steve Jobs.
He dresses like a piece of shit. It is funny. I think that him talking about all the stuff that happened to him, again, no spoilers, so we won't go too deep, but he made a really interesting point because when he got done for all this stuff, he came out and said it's all true. So that's what I believe, is him saying it's all true. And then I think that the point that he made in the special was a really, really good one. He made a really great point about like sexual consent. And it was essentially along the lines of just because someone says yes doesn't mean that they're fully into it. Because women, he makes the point, which I agree with, women a lot of the time are really, really good at seeming like they're comfortable when maybe they're not. So it's, if you want to do a weird thing, which everybody has their weird thing, if you want to do a fucking weird thing, you have to attain like really, really clear, enthusiastic consent. Sometimes a yes is not enough. If it's just a, yeah, like that's not enough, I think. And that's the point that he made. And he was like, sometimes it's very hard to find out how enthusiastic someone is. So you have to be really careful. And I thought that was a great point that he made. And it really showed that he'd learned, I suppose, from what happened.
Yeah. And had any of this stuff happened recently, or was it really old situations like being brought up because of the whole Me Too thing? Or was he doing it like on the reg? From
memory, I believe there were a few recent ones and a few old ones.
Okay. Yeah, see, at the time, I just heard about the Sarah Silverman stuff, and it was so long ago now, I forget like the details of it all. I just remember that he came out, said he did it, and then he made a lot of people uncomfortable, and he apologized, didn't he?
Yes,
right?
he apologized.
I mean, not like that makes up for it, but yeah. I just thought the one good thing was that he did acknowledge it. He acknowledges it like right near the end, and I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's not acknowledging it. And
you
then
save it for the end, of course.
Yeah, but I feel like it wouldn't have been a bad start though to just get it off the table.
I think it would have been funnier at the start because he did a little thing at the start and it got like a crazy big laugh and I felt the audience going, yeah, and then he just moved on.
I felt like it was almost just like tension in the room of like he hasn't addressed it for the whole thing. I'm like, you should have addressed it at the start. It's what everyone's watching it for. Address it at the start, and then it will like put the audience and the people at home at ease, being like, all right, he acknowledges it and he makes a few good points, and it was also pretty funny, the bit about it. Yeah. I really liked the bit about how he said, I don't want to spoil anything actually. It doesn't matter.
It was good. It was very funny. But it was very funny, but it also wasn't like they're all lying. It was funny in the way of him like accepting that he did it and what he learned from it and how he can teach other people about
Yeah.
it, which I think is a fucking great thing. And I don't think that he should be shit on for that, because what he did was bad, but it wasn't like a horrendous sex crime that you should never be able to come back from. From what I've read from it, because I read into it a lot, I think it was just, like he said, not understanding social cues as well as he could have.
Yeah, I think it's really ballsy, and I think it's fascinating that guys do this. I've never had like a one night stand or anything, or like been with. I've only ever had like long term girlfriends, right? So I don't get how guys, and I've spoken to this with my guy friends. I'm like, do you have the confidence to, with a girl you've just met, to go for something crazy like in the bedroom?
Yeah.
To like really, I'm like, dude, I'd be keeping it real vanilla. And then then the more comfortable you get with each other, then I think it just seems crazy to me to meet a girl and go, "Can I do this weird thing?"
Yeah,
I don't get how any guy does that.
You gotta lead up to the weird shit, because everyone has their weird fucking thing. You have to lead up, because I did one night stand shit when I was younger, and I never did anything crazy. It was all like very vanilla, very like. Yeah, just normal.
Yeah, I think
don't
that's
know.
the weird part.
That's definitely strange. I mean, I know that Ruben's into a lot of weird stuff, and that's all he does. But
Yeah.
maybe you could shed some light on that, Ruben?
Mum's the word on this one, boys. Sorry.
Yeah, that is the word that he's into. It's very strange.
That's why he lives with her. Oh, sorry, that was bad. I'm really sorry.
Just threw Ruben in the deep end there. Sorry about that.
Did you
man.
thought, like, the one special it reminded me of was the Aziz Ansari one, where he addressed the allegations that were made about him. And I thought Aziz... Now, the thing about Aziz was that it was a bit similar, where he didn't realise...
From what I read, I think the Aziz one was... The Aziz one was like at the tail end of the Me Too shit, where at first it was like Harvey Weinstein and fucking Kevin Spacey and all of these like major, definitely horrible offenses and people. And then it started to be like, this guy brushed me in the corridor while he was holding boxes, and he accidentally touched my shoulder. He should lose his whole life. I feel like towards the end of it, it started to get a little bit...
It was just like, cancel
Aziz,
this guy because he's on TV kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think Aziz got that towards the tail end of it. I think
But he
that
talks
his one
about
was just
that.
a bad date. Yeah.
But I think that's what was interesting about it. He addressed it, how like, and even the effect it had on him and his personal relationships and how people looked at him. And I was like, that was on a way lesser scale. And I thought that was really full on that he addressed it on stage.
Yeah.
Watching Louis kind of come out, and that's the one thing I admire about him as a comedian in general is like I don't want to spoil anything, but he had some really edgy jokes in there, like proper dark shit, and it was fucking great. It was very funny, and the way he just comes out with it, and he says it, and he doesn't. I don't think he's even trying to offend people. See, like if you watch like maybe I don't know who's like a particularly offensive comedian, like Anthony Jeselnik. You get the vibe like he's going out there to provoke people. That's his like kind of whole thing on stage. But Louis kind of just says fuck shit and was like, and he just goes, and I kind of like the way he's very open with himself. Like he talks about how gross he is while he's fucking his girlfriend. He talks about how disgusting he is. He calls himself a creep during the bit where he's addressing him. He's just so open. He blatantly calls himself a pervert at one point. And I think there's something, even if you don't like him, there is something a little bit likable about that. There's something appealing about a guy who just acknowledges all his mistakes in front of thousands of people.
And that's the perfect way to handle it. If you do fuck up and you're like a public figure, I don't know, just take time to think about it and learn from it and then teach other people about it and incorporate it into your art. I think it was perfect. And what was really interesting was, from what I've read online, there have been... No one gives a fuck. Like, there's... Like, with all this corona shit happening out there, when people's lives are actually affected by something real, None of this Twitter outrage is happening. None of these articles are getting any traction. Some of the journalists are writing these articles with like crazy headlines and trying to like shit talk the Louis special and trying to cause outrage over the bits, but it's just not taking at all, because the minute a normal person has a real issue in their life, all of this fucking offense shit goes out the window because it literally matters much, much less. I think this has really exposed how little this shit matters, because the moment we stop being like this incredibly privileged, lucky people and we have a problem to face, it all goes out the window.
Yeah, you can't be offended when you're dead.
Yeah.
It's a bigger priority. Yeah, but I always think, but this is the attitude I guess we have because we're comedians ourselves. We have this attitude all the time. I think maybe a lot of people do, where it's like, it doesn't matter. It's a joke. Even if you disagree with it, even if it is wrong, even if it was offensive and they shouldn't have said it, the attempt, like the intent wasn't to ruin someone's day. The intent was to make people laugh, you'd hope. You know, and what? So was there negative outrage? Because look, it was pretty edgy. There's one bit where he talks about a word that you're not supposed to use anymore to describe disabled people. And he's got a few bits in the past about it. He's done one about the F word, the homophobic F word. He has a bit in the past about the
faggot.
Supposed, yes,
faggot and retard was the words.
And there was another one. Now, Lewis, are you going to say this one? There was the one he had an old bit about an N word.
I don't think I've seen that bit. I can't remember that one.
Okay, you're not going to say that one?
I don't recall. No.
You
what
sure?
Was it? Can you remind me?
No. I think you were going...
the first letter. What's the second? Maybe spell it.
No, you were going great, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of it. Ruben's got it.
Yeah. Ruben's got it.
I think Keelan looked up articles. Keelan, did you find any like articles that were outraged or anything?
Were people offended by that bit? Because I was watching it going like, yeah, it's a good point that he makes. And
retard bit was the only one that I saw consistently come up. And then all the jokes on religion were the only ones that came up. But
really? The religious shit wasn't. The Boston Marathon thing was more offensive than the religion bit.
The articles were just like pretty much copy and pasting his whole paragraphs of what he was saying and then explaining why that was not necessarily an okay thing to say. The outrage wasn't really there. Yeah.
Right. I think that with the retard bit, he made his point that he was making with the joke was actually very progressive. I don't think this ruins the joke. The point he was making was we stopped saying the word retard, but then we also stopped seeing mentally disabled people at all. Like before, when retard was a medical term that was not offensive at all, you would see mentally disabled people in society and in culture and in TV and movies. And then all of a sudden, this word became super offensive and dangerous, which also meant, oh, fuck, we should take all of these people out of the spotlight because someone might get mad. And then they just disappeared, and now you don't see anyone fighting for them, I suppose. Which I think was a great point.
I think some people just watch it to get offended.
Yes.
I think some people...
Journalists.
Yeah, I guess. True. I don't think anyone on Twitter... And obviously there are people who watch it to... I don't know why you'd ever watch a thing to get outraged. It's not like he was going out there and being like, fucking retards. Bloody... He didn't call them like spazzes or anything. He wasn't he wasn't mocking their disabilities. He was just talking about the word and the connotation behind it and how it's changed over time. I don't think the bit was even about people who had a mental disability at all.
It was about everybody else changing the word.
Yeah, it was about how everyone else treats them. But yeah, I thought it was great. Overall, I thought it was really awesome special and would recommend a watch. Are you allowed to recommend this special to people?
Yeah, I'd full on recommend it. It's one of the best specials I've watched all year. Really,
I got a message on Instagram. I uploaded a story where I was filming my computer screen and I didn't realize, but I had it in my downloads, the new special, like Sincerely Louis CK, and someone said, fuck, you're brave putting that in your story. And I
put it on my story on purpose.
I was like, how is that brave? Like, just because he's like, oh, you're supporting him financially. And I was like, well, I guess. Yeah, but he's a good comedian. I'm not supporting his jacking off. I'm not being like, mate, spend it on cum tissues, you know?
Yeah. Well,
you know,
that's the fucking thing. Like, I think that whole line of thought doesn't make any sense because, yes, he made a mistake, he admitted to it, but in the special and with his actions since then, it's not like he's done it again. And he said that he's learned from it and he's trying to educate other people as well who could make the same mistake. What more do you want from the guy who didn't really commit a heinous crime? He just made like a series of mistakes, I think. If you can't make mistakes and come back from it, what the fuck is the point of being human? That's what I think.
boom.
Ruben, what did you think about it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's pretty much been covered. I think that was a great way to wrap it up, Lewis.
Hang on, Ruben, you didn't say what that word we were looking for
What
before
was that word? Yeah.
What
you
was
should
that
give us
word?
the word.
Which was the word? Which one are you talking about?
I think Luke had the first letter. What was the first
Yeah,
letter?
what was that?
It was first letter. It was N.
Right. What was
Yeah.
the second letter?
Second letter. Oh man, I'm not good at spelling. You all know that. I don't read much.
I think it's asterisk. I think it's a series of asterisks.
Yeah.
That's whenever I see it on iTunes, it's just a bunch of asterisks. I don't really
Right. I heard there's a bunch of them in Paris.
The one final thing that I wanted to talk about was I fucking loved that he did it as a digital download that you pay to watch. I love that because it really, I think that's great for the industry as a whole because I think that what's happening now with all of these streaming services, there's so many more opportunities for comedians, but there are so many comedians that have the ability to film their own specials but maybe won't get picked up because of their controversial jokes or past or whatever. I think that Louis C.K., like one of the top 5 easy comedians doing it like that, really paves the way for more comedians to do it like that if they can't get picked up by a network. I think that's so cool. Because that's why I decided to go with the digital download thing, because I saw it worked for Louis C.K. I was like, okay, I can do that on a smaller scale. If it worked for the biggest guy, it'll work for smaller people. I think it's great that he decided to do that, because also then he can like just do it on his own terms. You know,
It doesn't
like,
mean you don't get any new fans though. There's obviously downsides to it. Like, you know
That
what's
is
weird?
true.
Even like I've had mine on my special on Amazon Prime now and it's on in the UK, the US, and Australia, and a few other countries in Europe, I think. So it's like almost worldwide on I guess a pretty big streaming service. It's not that big in Australia, but it's big in America, I think. I've got heaps of new people message me saying I just randomly stumbled across your special and
That's
I watched it. And it is cool, but I was just like, I've never thought, when I was filming it, I kind of regret it in a way. Like, I didn't film it for new people. I really filmed it for my fans because I had it in mind that I was going to sell it on my website. And I think that, like, I feel like this new special that Louis was selling, it was definitely for people who were buying it.
yes.
And I feel like I've watched some of his Netflix specials, it felt different. Like, I feel like you get a different special was my point if you're selling it online. Like, I feel like I didn't write it for new people to be into my shit. It's good that new people watched it and enjoyed it, but there were some pretty in-jokey things where I talked about the tambourine and shit in my comedy special. And I just think that, it's definitely like, it's if you need to work out how you want to distribute it, I think, when you film it. Because I think I fucked that up a bit. I think I wasn't planning for it to be distributed on a global scale where anyone could watch it.
Yeah, I think that what I'll be doing with what I was planning on doing this year with my next one was just to have it in my head. It'll go on my website, but then hopefully I can get it picked up. So
I think next time,
try and just write the best thing possible for anyone, whether they're a fan or a fan's fucking dad, to enjoy, I think.
Because I feel like next time I want to open with some more edgier shit. I feel like I saved all my dark shit towards the end of the special.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have, like, because I knew my fans would stick around for it. But, like, I feel like I'd want to have a few punchy things at the start to, like, kind of make people go, oh, shit, okay, we're watching this.
Well, what's interesting is
regretted.
all of the big comedians that have massive Netflix specials, like all of the Joe Rogan tier guys, like Chris D'Elia and all that kind of shit, they all say, like, you have to put your best material in the first 20 minutes because when it's not when your fans will watch the whole thing, but when
Yeah.
it's on a platform for everyone to enjoy, the average viewer will just watch the first 15 to 20. And
Yeah.
then at that point, they'll go, I like it, I'll finish it, or fuck this guy, I'm off. So you want to put the best 20 first, rather than traditionally, especially with live shows, the best 20 goes last. But that's because
Yeah.
everyone who you're performing to in the room is obviously your fan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bought tickets and showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing I'll do differently next time. But yes, you're right. It is a good way. And I think that it's pretty cool that he kind of, going back to Louis, he kind of came back from a good proper cancelling. You know? He almost did a Logan Paul in a way. Like, he got fucked up by, like, Twitter and stuff. He wasn't allowed to do shows. He mentions it in the special. He's like, I was in Poland because that's where I can do shows now. Like, he pretty much got thrown out of the fucking country, and to come back to ride a great hour and to prove once again that he's one of the greats, I thought was cool to watch.
Very cool. All right, shall we move on here?
Yeah.
Yep. Good idea.
Great. Okay. What else do we have here? Fuck, we've been talking for about
I can't
40
read,
minutes here.
so I don't know.
We can do my thing or Keelan's thing or Lewis's thing.
Dude, I was trying to read the fucking milk at the supermarket, like the expiry date, and I was standing there, and there was this old guy next to me, and I was standing there looking at it like this. This old guy put in his glasses, went bang, and quickly put in his basket. I was standing there for 30 seconds. It was so fucking embarrassing.
All right. Well, Keelan, you've been tested for coronavirus because you're sick at the moment.
Yeah, I went on Monday to go get tested, and because my sister works around coronavirus positive people, I didn't want to have that risk of being sick and spreading it to other people. So I went
Because
to
you live with her?
no, but she comes over more than she should.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea, man.
So I went on Monday to the Dandenong Clinic, and my sister works at a different one. So she'd been telling us this whole time that it's so busy, people like faint because they're waiting for so long. And we walked in and we weren't sure that we were at the right place because no one was there. And then we walked into this building, which was like a house, and we had to like wait for people to come around to let us in. And the whole thing was, I'm being dramatic, but it was kind of like something out of a movie because all the nurses were covered head to toe in protective gear, and it was a really dark little house we were in. Yeah. So when I was taken through all these corridors to get tested, I felt like I'd done something really bad because I was the only person not protected fully, and it was like everyone was standing 2 meters away from me, and they were like, go in there, then sit here, do not touch anything. And the questioning for whether or not you can get tested is quite like intense.
So you have to be questioned before you can even get tested, even there.
Yeah, and so I just made up an excuse. I said that you were sick and that you just got back from tour. And they were like, all right, well, that's fair. And I spent a lot of time with you when you first got sick. So they were like, well,
so what you did is you lied and wasted government resources for your own peace of mind.
Took a test away from someone who needs it.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't in any other circumstance.
Dude, you did the coronavirus equivalent of parking in a disabled spot. You literally cannot be stopped.
I have a defense because they were testing anyone. Little known fact, on Saturday through Monday, they were testing anyone who came in. It just wasn't publicly known. So that was the only reason I went in and did that. And I also didn't want to just be like, I want to get tested, because how pathetic would that sound?
Pretty pathetic. That's why we're judging you.
The truth would sound pathetic. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, do you have it? Or is that where the story ends? You just don't know.
Oh, wait. Well, I wanted to tell you what they do. They shove a stick right up your nose and they go...
What?
And it really... Yeah, they put like a long, thin stick with a cotton bud on the end and just shove it up
I thought
your
it was a
nose.
blood test.
No.
I think they're working on blood tests at the moment.
And they shove a stick down your throat. So all in all, it was quite a scary... Not a scary, I'm being dramatic, but it was quite an intense
Well, you'd be used to one of
experience.
those, so that's fine. Just the nose thing would be a bit weird.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm used to lots of things in my throat.
Mainly a fucking 3-piece box. So, again, do you have it or no?
I don't know. I'm waiting on a text. I just thought the story was interesting, that it was like how intense it was. I thought it was just going to be
Okay.
like a walk-in, walk-out thing. Sorry for
You know,
bringing
it was-
bad content to the show again.
No, it was good content. It just didn't have an end. That's all
Well,
right.
I have a kind of like an incredible scenes, but it was when I went to the doctors this morning to get my eyes checked. I got my temperature tested on the way in, and I think I got a perfect score. And the guy was so fucking like, he didn't care at all, and I was so excited. So he's like,
Oh,
mate,
your
stand
eyes?
back. No, like my temperature. So he's like, mate, I just got to test your temperature. I put the thing on my forehead, and he goes 36.5, and I was like, that's pretty good, isn't it? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, no, but like, isn't it between 36 and 37? Like, that's a perfect score. And
Yeah.
the guy's like, I guess, yep, you're fine to go in. And I was like, dude, I just kicked that out of the park. Like, even if my eyes are fucked, I've already had a win today. This is great. So
nailed that shit.
I'm running at a perfect optimum temperature. The lady after me, 36.2. I was like, she's sick. Get her the fuck out of here. Okay? She's
What
not
a
a
fucking
perfect.
loser.
Yeah. So I got perfect head temp. Bit of a subtle
That is-
flex.
Nice.
That is good. That's an incredible scene. Send us your incredible scenes at home. I mean, Luke was supposed to be at home for that, but you know, we'll let it slide. Send us your incredible.
No, it was a
scenes.
medical appointment. I'm
Okay.
allowed to be out. Yeah.
That's well, you're allowed to be out. Just that's not really a segment. Incredible scenes at home. Luke and Lewis
True.
5@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right. Well, also, if you've got any on a outing, on an excursion, I'll host that segment.
Oh, incredible scenes while out for a legitimate reason.
Yes, essential incredible scenes, we'll call it.
Okay, that's good. Ruben, do we have time to do your thing? Mine's going to be quick.
Okay,
Yeah, we're at 43
let's,
minutes.
let's do mine.
All right. Okay.
Luke, I got a couple of questions to ask you. If you want to play that sound effect I hit up.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, am I being interrogated? This is
Yeah,
a bit
would,
intense.
Would like to call Luke Kidgel to the stand, if I could.
Wait,
Wait,
before we
Ruben.
do this, what's everyone's role? Who's judge? Who's witness? Jury.
I'll be the what's the word? The the lawyer.
Lawyer?
And yes, the prosecution, and you guys can just be on my side as well. Happy for Lewis and Keelan to jump
alright.
on. And
Hang on, that's not how court works. The lawyer doesn't go, before we start, can you guys all
Overruled.
back me up?"
Overruled. Shut up.
Yeah, but you
What
just
it-
forgot you're the
Hang
lawyer,
on,
so
I
you're
don't,
the
think,
worst
the,
lawyer
I don't
ever.
think the lawyer can overrule anyone. That's more of a judge situation.
Yeah.
I'll be
No.
the judge, and I'll allow that overrule.
Okay, thank you.
Can I make one
jury,
point
Your
before
Honour?
we start? I think this lawyer's an idiot. All right, continue.
Can I be a
Overruled.
member of the jury?
Luke, all right. Some questions. Oh, is that sound effect still going? Where's Lewis
it is.
going?
You
The judge
can't
has
be
run
a member
away.
of the jury because you're untrustworthy. You lie to doctors all the time and hate the disabled.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'll just be a witness.
That is your bad. Now continue, Ruben. Oh, Ruben, is the first question about my head temperature? Because if so, it's perfect.
No, not at all interested in your head temperature, but thank you for that knowledge.
But I want that on the record. Perfect head temp.
That's been recorded. Thank you.
Great.
Now, Luke, do you like?
plugging in my charger.
Shut up. We're trying to do court. I'm sorry about you.
I'm my honour. Guys, I'm allowed to do it as I'm the judge. I'll continue court.
Lewis is on the floor
Thank
of his
you, Your
bedroom
Honour.
right now.
Oh, what a shambles this court has become. But I will continue because justice must have its day. Luke, do you like doing this show?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's interesting to know. And do you would you say that you're on time usually to things?
No, but you know what I do is I
Sure.
do get my audio not sent to Keelan 3 days late. Want that on record as well.
Are you accusing? Is this
I'm accusing Lewis of making last week's episode late. Now, if we were going to talk about being
I'm the
late,
judge. I'm not involved in this case.
no, but if we are going to talk about people on the show being late, I would say Lewis has been responsible for making an episode over 24 hours late, 48 hours on the video,
An episode is not a person.
and he made
Objection.
Keelan drive to his house because he's a man-child. All right, continue. You
Objection. Keelan messaged me.
still have to
right.
drive to your house.
I will continue with this line of questioning, and I will ask the judge to shut.
We
this.
can cut to the end, boys. I know where this is going. I've been late to the Zoom calls, and
No,
you know why?
I don't
Because
think
I've
you do
been.
know.
I've
I don't
been
think you do it-
prioritizing my body over this podcast
Okay,
every time.
well that's interesting. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Now we tried to record this podcast.
My abs are not a crime.
Last night we tried to
Show
record
us your
this
abs,
podcast.
please. Show us your abs.
Before we
Exhibit
before we
A.
keep going, can I
No.
ask Luke a question? Before we go, can I ask Luke a question?
Yes.
Do you read the group chat, Luke?
No, I missed that one yesterday where we all said we were going to do it at 5 o'clock because I was looking at the photos. I thought it was just the photos of Lewis and of the new studio. I did miss that part.
Right. And here's some anecdotal evidence I've heard, and this is hearsay
That's
for
the best
sure.
kind
But
of
I would
evidence.
like it on the record. That heard a little rumor that Luke doesn't have notifications turned on for our group chat.
Oh, yeah. Or any group
Yeah.
chat.
okay.
Not at all.
For Luke.
So,
Fuck oath you are. And also, Keelan, I think at one point I had you on mute as well. I just
Why?
think like I have heaps of people on mute.
Right, but it's a work-related group chat. It's not, we don't talk.
I mean,
about
it's
much
called the
other than
Jeff
work.
and Big Spaghetti fan club.
That's very important to work. If we weren't fans of the best, we wouldn't have a good show.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from that.
So what are you accusing me of here?
Well, I'm gonna get to it.
I'm
If
like
you'll let
being
me.
Louis C.K. I'm just owning all of this. And if you boys
Here's
don't
the
mind,
thing, all right?
can I ejaculate right now?
No, absolutely.
I'll
not.
allow it.
You'll be, yeah.
Okay.
You were. Last night we tried to record the podcast at 5 o'clock, which we said it was going to be at 5 o'clock.
I didn't know that, to be
True.
fair.
Of course,
That is true.
because you don't read the group chat.
Absolutely.
True.
Now at 5 o'clock we were all ready and waiting. At 5:25, you messaged the group and saying, "Oh, sorry, can we postpone? I was about to go for a run."
Objection. He did not say, "Can we postpone?" The message was, "Oh, really? I was about to go for a run. I thought it was at 6." I said, "No, we changed it. Sorry, you said I thought it was at 7. I said, no, we changed it from 6 to 5. It was never 7."
Yeah, it was
and
never
then,
7.
If I recall correctly, we did not get a message from Luke saying, not even saying, "Oh, I won't make it." So what I presume happened was Luke said, "Oh, I was about to go for a run," not "I'm currently on a run,"
Yeah,
or "I
correct.
can't make it." He said, "I was about to go for a run." All of the boys were in the Zoom chat, ready to record, and Luke said, "I was about to go for a run," and then just went for the run anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So what
Now-
happened was,
no-
I didn't read the group chat. We were like, let's record it at night. And I was like, sweet. Nighttime is like dark. So I was like, cool, it's not dark yet. We're going to do it maybe 7 p.m. after dinner. That's nighttime. I think most people would agree nighttime is after dinner.
We said
We're
5
like,
o'clock in
I
the
think
group chat.
Most
Yeah,
people
but
agree.
no.
We
Ruben,
said 6
Ruben,
and then 5.
I don't read the group chat. So
Yeah,
that's
so that's the
unimportant.
problem here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem is not me prioritizing my body, right?
see,
I was
okay.
like, dude, the world gym isn't going to hit itself. I've got to get
So-
out there, get
so
work done.
when-
I'm trying to run a fucking revolution here,
Well-
and you guys are coming at me left, right,
I'm
and
just
center.
saying that when you saw that you were wrong, you went on the run anyway.
Yeah, because I'd already got my running shoes on. I was like out the front. I was like, all right, I'm going. And then I just threw my phone inside and left.
Luke, a few follow-up questions, if I may.
Yeah.
Firstly, how was the run?
Really good. Knocked out 5Ks, did some
5Ks.
exercises in
Must
the
have
world
taken
gym.
you a while.
No, but then I didn't leave straight away. I received a phone call.
I was saying
and then
that I thought you just said that you just you were out the door and you threw your
that's-
phone away.
yeah, no, I
Strange
have
that
it on
you had
mute.
time for a phone call.
Yeah, because our manager Sam called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And how long were you
That
on
was
the phone
important.
with Sam?
not too long.
Right, and then you left after the phone call?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's interesting. Because I was just...
I got back from the run about 6:30, and I left about 5:30. I
6:30,
think.
that's interesting. See, I was going through Instagram,
Yes.
and something caught my
I did
eye,
see
actually.
this,
I
yeah.
saw a
Saw
post from Luke Kidgel.
Yeah, I posted just before I went on the run.
Oh, and
when I was
what-
I
posted
was
at
taking a
5
dump before my run.
You posted
and
at
I posted.
5:40.
Oh.
Yeah, so actually,
But
yeah,
you
I
messaged
must
the group at 5:25. For 15 minutes, you were taking a phone
Yeah, but
call.
yes.
You said it was a quick phone call.
No,
you said it was a
just
quick
said
call.
the exact timeline of how things went down. I said I'm about to go for a run. I took a phone call, and then I posted on Instagram. Then I left for my run. About
So-
50 minutes on the run. Then I came home, had a shower, had dinner, and then I jumped in on the Zoom call at 7.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Luke, is you would never have made the original time we set or the
Because I didn't know about
that
it.
we changed it to. So I would say, as the judge, I would say that I sentence you to reading the fucking chat.
I have.
That's the worst punishment.
I have one more thing to.
I don't, dude. You guys the amount of shit that Keelan just links in that chat is why I muted it.
I don't
Like
do that
Keelan
anymore.
would just, you fucking still do it a bit. You know,
A little bit, yeah.
He's now
There is
like
a lot of Big Brother stuff in there.
yeah. There's a lot of unnecessary non-work chat in there, which is
Now,
why it originally got
Boys,
muted.
hold on. I want to return to something. This court case is not over.
sorry.
I've got a point to make at the end, by the way, which is like
from you.
I'm the
You're
boss
on,
and
you're
I
on
employ
trial
you.
here.
Yeah, right. But like,
Order in the court. This is
Sorry.
prosecution has the floor.
Lewis
Thank you,
should be
Your
the
Honor.
only one here accusing me of anything. I can't
Now,
believe I'm allowing you
Ruben
guys to
took this
speak.
upon himself. I'm sorry, I'm the judge.
I
I'm
know,
impartial.
but I don't know why we're allowing him to speak on my fucking podcast. But all right,
Well, because
continue.
prosecution has the floor. You'll have your time to speak.
You were on the run for 50 minutes. After you took a call for 15 minutes, which you originally said was quick, but that's all right. Let's leave
That's a
that
quick
behind.
call, mate, when you're doing business.
Now, on the run for 50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Posted at 5:40. On Facebook, you also posted at 5:40. Commented on that Facebook post 5:55.
Ooh, okay.
Something's not adding up here, Luke.
Maybe, yeah, but I don't know. Remember the timeline, mate. Dude, I literally went for the run after I did all my social media for the night.
Right.
Like
So
I
you
did
went-
all
you
my
went for
social
run-
media, then went for a run. Yeah,
you went
because
for a
at
run
this
6
point,
o'clock.
yeah, but then in the group chat I said, look, I'm not going to be available till 7, and I was correct because I was still working, and then I had to go
You
for a
didn't
run.
say I
story's
won't be
falling
available.
apart.
Yeah, I said let's do it 7, and then I just left.
Okay.
But
So
it's
it just
not like
seems
my story is like it doesn't really matter at this point because at no point did I intend to be doing the show before 7 p.m. as I originally said. So I was like, anything that I do before then doesn't matter.
Of course, yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying you've spun a web of lies for yourself. Luke.
No, I didn't at all. I'm saying I don't recall
No,
exactly.
on trial right now, you've spun a web of lies.
Yeah, but I
first it's
don't-
a quick call, then you're taking a dump. Now it's a
Defense is falling
50-minute
apart.
run. Then you're commenting on Facebook.
Yeah,
One more thing, Luke.
Yeah.
Now you said you cared about this podcast. Tell me what the post you were making on Instagram was at the time you should have been doing this podcast.
It was for my individual podcast, which I prioritize more than this one.
I rest my case.
Spinning a web of lies.
You know why, boys? My Memoirs of a White Guy, hang on. It's fucking popping right now, okay? It was beating Luke and Lewis in the charts. I was like, you know what? I have to make a call here. Do I post about Luke and Lewis or do I post my brand new fresh poppin' artwork? You can smash subscribe right now. It's up and
Judge,
coming.
I
We're
think
back
overrule this.
weekly,
Can we-
every Monday.
Can we get this guy out of the courtroom, please?
Oh man, you are fucking
if I
lucky
just-
you have a job
What
at
if I
this
just
point.
boot him from the call?
Okay, look, I've made my ruling. I've decided on a ruling. Luke Kidgel, I hereby sentence you to reading the group chat. Ruben, you are
Yes.
also guilty of nothing. No,
I would say-
I would
say-
like you to set up Google Calendar invites for everyone, so there are
Yes.
no more excuses.
I would say there was a little bit of a miscommunication. I think we can all agree. And part of that was me not reading the chat. I will admit that. And I would also like to sentence Ruben guilty of wasting the listeners' time for about 15 minutes listening to this.
I
Because
have
this
a small
was...
thing before we move on as well.
I'll allow it, but your
I didn't
sentencing
wanna
will
bring-
come after it.
I didn't want to bring this up, but last week I called you at 1 a.m. and said, hey, Luke, just finished editing the episode, so we're all good for 11 a.m. tomorrow. I even put it in the group chat, and then 11 a.m. the next day, me and Ruben were both ready, and you and Lewis both went, what? I didn't know we were recording today. So
Did happen.
even
That
when
seems
directly...
like that didn't happen. I don't think that happened.
I don't
didn't
think
happen, that-
That didn't happen at all. No.
That definitely
happen.
I've
happened.
never, been,
that.
I've never been late. I've never been late. Luke's the only one who's ever been late in the history of the show.
I
That's
do remember
unfair.
I literally called Luke to say I finished the episode. We can call.
I remember.
get-
I remember that Luke was late. I was not.
Okay, that's all from me.
Keelan, I sentenced you to stop posting Big Brother and the memes in the fucking group chat so that
That's
Luke
the
will
thing.
actually read it.
I will not. I will only unmute it as soon as. Okay, here's the thing. I will unmute it, but as soon as Keelan's says anything unwork related, back on mute, my friends, and I will not read it for the next week. Okay?
Can we start
all
a
have a
second
deal?
group chat
Keelan?
then?
Huh?
Can we start a second group chat then?
Because I'll leave
No.
that chat. If you start a second chat.
We tried that when we did the radio show where we had a work chat and a meme chat. Guess which one got used?
Yeah, the meme chat. And you know what? That's the only one that I actually didn't have on mute. I put the work one on mute.
That's the real problem, is that there's too much work in this meme chat.
That is the problem, to be honest. Like,
All right,
you guys
well, we'll
always
set up
talk about
Google
the
calendars.
show, and I'm looking at a lot of stuff to do, you know. I'm a busy guy. I got my other podcast, which is popping off, so I don't have all the time in the world to be focusing on this, you know.
Could be popping off because he actually shows up for it. That could be
Yeah.
the reason.
Oh, mate, you were the reason why I was late last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we spent nearly enough time on the fact that Lewis is majority the problem here. I think we've really focused on me for a bit. Whereas, like, if I'm 15 minutes late or 2 hours late to the show, you know, at least it's up on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do my best not to send my footage, so this one's a day late as well.
Yeah.
Guys, we have to wrap up here. But you know, I got up, I used the time yesterday. We're all sitting in Zoom, and I thought, oh, well, this isn't going to happen for a few hours. So I thought I might as well be a bit productive, make something for the show. I've had a lot of things sent in for the segment Quarantine Convenience, which has basically been, what have you found has been incredibly convenient in your house that's only come out because you can never leave it now? For example, my mum's a hairdresser. A lot of people, you know, got shit haircuts. Luke Kidgel, Keelan, prime example, right? Because they can't go to the hairdressers. My mum, sorted.
Well,
Got my
I
haircut
noticed
yesterday. Looks
you
amazing.
illegally snuck over to your parents' house the other day to
No,
get
that's
that
legal
cut.
because we're family. That was an essential
I
trip.
read that, and it's not now. Yeah.
Oh,
you're
isn't
not
it?
allowed to do that? No.
Well, I was actually moving house. So that's
of
an
course.
essential
You
activity.
spun a web of lies for yourself.
Well, itsy bitsy spider, chuck me in the drain pipe. So lots of people have been emailing in their quarantine conveniences, things they have that only became convenient since they haven't been able to leave the house. And I made a little fucking intro song for it, but then I got bored and I decided to use everyone's emails and make a full song. And here it is. We'll end the episode with this. Oh, I can't go out because of quarantine, but luckily I got this. If your dad's a plumber and the toilet blocks, he'll fix it and you can piss. If you're stuck at home, you won't feel alone if your partner gives you a kiss. If you're a loser who lives with mum and dad, I'm sorry, but that's just sad. Oh, I can't go out because of quarantine, but luckily I got this. If you've got a boat and a rod, you don't need a store because you can fish. You've got OnlyFans, you don't need a job because you can sell your tits. I don't recommend that, though. I think a lot of people using that side of kids. Oh, I can't go out because of quarantine, but luckily I got this. This.
Damn.
Very nice.
Once again, Lou spitting the fire on this show.
Absolutely.
God damn. That was good.
All right. That's how we're going to end the show.
Note for the next episode. Less Ruben airtime.
Hey, as long as you are on time, that's fine.
I
with
can't
me.
promise that. And no, you know what? Can I mute a chat on Zoom? Let's mute this one.
Ruben's now muted.
Great. Oh, hang on, I'm
This
muting
is
too.
unfair.
That's good.
Oh no, he's
Sure.
muted. Oh, perfect. That means the audio people can still hear him, but we can't.
That's very funny. He's currently
Am I
using
back?
sign language to say
Did I
that we're
fix it?
spitting a web of lies. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. That was episode 76. We're going to talk to you guys on Tuesday. We've got a secret podcast episode. Did you just kick him out of the chat? That's very funny. All right, we've got a secret podcast coming out exclusively on Patreon. If you want to support the show, that's the way to do it. We're trying very hard to do this shit in quarantine for you guys, and we lost our sponsor, so your support would be greatly appreciated. We'll talk to you guys on Tuesday, or even earlier than that, on Patreon. See you later.
See ya.